Greetings everyone! Welcome to my Sonic Issue 277 review. The gathering of the Gaia Keys has begun, but even when they collect all the sets, 7 emeralds are required for the temples themselves, and the heroes only have 6. Boy, if there was a way to resolve that issue, huh? Let's start the review. We begin with Sonic, Chip, and Warrior Wolf Lupe running from another E-Series robot, E-118 Tau, which looks like a flying saucer. From a distance, Sally's complaining that Sonic's not following her plan. Oh yeah, she, along with Bunnie and the local wolf pack, are under attack by some lesser badniks. During the attack, Bunnie rightfully points out that Sonic doesn't stick to plans, but things always work out. So, Sonic's improvisation involves him going into a lightning storm with Tau following him. Sonic forces the Super Badnik into lightning, and thanks to the tether sling rings, Sonic's pulled to safety. Sally here doesn't approve of reckless plans until Nicole points out her hypocrisy because she did the exact same thing at the end of Spark of Life. Sally's response to this? Yeah, that's real mature of you. Anyway, Sonic thanks Lupe for the help, but she says that Sonic and his friends will never need to thank her for anything. Chip asking more about it brings us to this flashback. Eggman's attacking Lupe's village, and Sonic, Sally, and Antoine arrive to help. Sonic, of course, goes for the big guy himself, Antoine's fending off badniks, and Sally's trying to get Lupe to organize her villagers for a counterattack. But Lupe's an emotional wreck. I mean, who can blame her? She lost her father, and her village is burning to the ground. Sally gives her a talk, which pretty much sums up as, I've been where you are now, so either fight for your people now, or get stomped. And it works, as Lupe takes Antoine's sword and starts attacking Motobugs. Sonic takes care of Eggman as usual, and Lupe says many of her people would have headed towards the local tornado shelter. We cut back to the present as Lupe finishes the story of Lupe's pack and the Freedom Fighters driving off the badniks. Also, the reason Sonic and company are here now is because Lupe is one of the Key Guardians. Lupe gives our heroes some more information about the temples in general. Eggman's forces in the area are in control of a temple, but it's a false temple. Turns out the builders created false temples along with the real ones, and only the Guardians would know which temple is genuine. However, the reason Tau was in the area is because it might have been searching for something. And look what Chip found. A broken egg capsule. Not just any capsule, but the one that captured the blue Chaos Emerald and went off course. The plan now is Sally and Bunnie will start looking for the emerald, while Sonic and Chip go with Lupe to get the Gaia Keys. And that's the end of the first story. The second story begins with Sally and Bunnie coming across an egg base, which again is a false temple. Still, it's worth looking around the area just in case the emerald's present. With Nicole's help, they quickly get past the security gate. They split off to cover more ground, but a SatAM spy bot's been watching them. Thankfully for them, the person that was supposed to be watching through the spy bot would rather be playing video games. This egg base is under the command of Clove along with her sister Cassia, and they question video game guard about a minor glitch in the security field. Clove decides to investigate, and Cassia wants to go with her. Clove doesn't want her to go because she has a plan, but this gesture here might indicate something more. Anyway, Cassia's disappointed she can't go, but notices some energy blip on one of video game guard's screens. Cassia also points out that if the guard's going to waste his time with video games, he should try to beat her score. Triple S. Okay, I have to ask, does the Triple S game rank exist? If so, let me know and tell me the games in question. Cassia decides to check out the energy shadow. While Clove stalks Sally, Bunnie detects an energy signature at a tower and runs into Cassia. The two begin fighting with Cassia jealous that Bunnie can shoot lasers. The conflict brings them to the top of the tower where the last Chaos Emerald awaits. So the story, and this issue, ends with Bunnie and Cassia ready to fight for it. For those who don't know, Lupe actually made her debut in the SatAM cartoon series as the leader of the Wolfpack Freedom Fighters. It was part of an overall season arc to unite various Freedom Fighter factions. The episode in question is Cry of the Wolf, and before anyone comments on it, the comic did adapt the episode, but that's a story for another day. On a related note, Lupe was in the comics for years, and she's been through a lot, including having a traitor in her ranks, getting turned into a robot, and eventually founding an entire nation. Because of her status as a SatAM character, she survived the transition into the new universe, only more Segafied and a bit younger in fact. What's interesting about her character is that she pretty much owes everything to Sonic's team. The flashback shows us that she was ready to give up. Understandable since a madman and his robots are attacking her village, but Sally's pep talk gave Lupe and her people a chance to fight back. This also ties back to a line Nicole said back in issue 257, how Sally helped out Lupe. If Ian had this scene in mind while writing the flashback, it's a nice callback. Speaking of callbacks, there are two nice ones with Sonic calling Eggman Robotnik and then switching it to Eggman. The Robotnik is a nod to SatAM because Sonic would always insult the guy with that name. Switching it to Eggman as an insult itself is a nod to Sonic Adventure. I don't know about you folks, but that's how I see it. One more thing about the flashback. The character designs. This was the Freedom Fighter group in their younger days, as Antoine's still wearing his childhood hat, and modern Sonic squashed down to look smaller. Of course, Eggman's in shadow because of mandates and such. But Sally here, she's in this in-between outfit, clearly on the way to her modern outfit and wearing a ponytail. More nods this time of her earlier design. The overall plot involves stopping an E-100 unit, learning that Lupe's a key guardian, and finding the capsule that stole the blue Chaos Emerald. Yeah, not that interesting, but the world building and character moments do make this reading alright. Lupe telling everyone about the fake temples. As pointed out within the comic itself, it would explain the temple in ways of change. The idea of having decoy temples is both good and bad. Good because it can throw off those who want to abuse the real temple's power, like Eggman. Bad because those who want to actually fix the world with the temples would have a harder time narrowing them down, especially if the world needs to be fixed fast. Now if I want to point out a major flaw in this story, it's Chip. Don't get me wrong, I know he's around because of Unleash and such, but you can easily take him out of the story and nothing would be affected. Sure, he got Lupe to tell her story, but she could be thinking about that time and boom, flashback. This is not boding well for the Sonic Chip bonding. Anyone familiar with Unleashed knows what happens at the end of the game. There's still time to develop Sonic and Chip before the end of the Sonic Unleashed adaptation, but if it continues to go from point A to point B without character moments between the two, and I mean meaningful ones, then why should I care? Again, it's my opinion. Adam Bryce Thomas does the art again, and it's alright. Overall, the story gets a 7. I do enjoy the world building and slight character moments, but the plot was meh. Well, it did set up the second story. Sally and Bunnie looking around a false temple looking for the final emerald. The highlight of the story is of course the interaction with the villains. This story reintroduces us to the two Egg Boss sisters, Clove and Cassia. Last seen investigating the Crystal Cave mine in issue 263's backup story. You can tell here that the sisters really do care for each other and that Clove is concerned for her sister's well-being. It was actually briefly brought up in issue 263. Makes sense because Aaliyah Baker wrote both stories. Based on this, I kinda want to see some backstory on these two characters. Did Cassia have health issues? Did Clove go to Eggman to help Cassia and in return, Eggman forced them into the Egg Army? A number of questions open up here, and in this case, it's a good thing. This is making me feel something. And they're antagonists. Plus, there's video game guards antics and the rapport with Cassia. Seriously, is there a triple S rank in real video games, people? Anyway, Aaliyah here is solidifying herself as a character writer. Because of this, and I'm sorry Ian if you're watching this, I'm starting to like your wife's work a little bit more. Another reason I'm liking the story more is the parallel conflict setup. We have Sally and Clove, two leaders of their groups, and we have Bunnie and Cassia, two cyborgs that have already begun engaging one another. It's only when they discover the Chaos Emerald that the fight will get serious. In their minds, both have valid reasons for claiming the emerald. For Bunnie, it's the exact same emerald that got away and almost resulted in her team getting killed. For Cassia, it's a chance to redeem herself for losing an emerald to the Freedom Fighters. How did the emerald get there in the first place? Well, I didn't point this out in the summary, but it was mentioned that they detected some lost schmuck entering the security barrier. It's possible that this person found the emerald, placed it at this temple thinking it was one of the genuine articles, and left, though the last part might be up for debate. This ties back to the whole problem with decoy temples in the first place. Evan Stanley's on pencil duty again. Awesome work with the facial and body expressions. This story gets an 8.5. So thank you everyone for joining me for this review. Until next time, have a good day and be safe. Seriously, triple S?